Welcome to Left Undone, Incomplete Investigations. I'm Kathryn, and this is my channel. Thank you so much for being here. We are continuing to follow the Lori Vallow Daybell case. Poor little missing Tylee and JJ, and we are starting to feel extremely gloomy about the outcome, but we still don't know for sure. Today, I'm going to cover the MELANIE GIBB interview. So let's get started. But first, if you would like to become a subscriber to Left Undone Incomplete Investigations, please subscribe now, ring the bell for notifications for when I go live. We do go live every Saturday morning. And also, if I put up new content, you will be able to jump right on and see it right away. So let's get started on the MELANIE GIBB interview. Welcome to Left Undone Incomplete Investigations. I'm Kathryn. So if you don't know who MELANIE GIBB is, she is Lori's best friend from the past few years. She was very much involved with Lori and Chad, and she very much knows a lot about this case. She knows that Lori says the kids turned into zombies. She knows when Lori started beginning to say that, and she knows that Lori and Chad were having an affair right under Tammy's nose before Tammy died. She knows a lot. If you haven't seen her interview from Nate Eaton, East Idaho News, the link is below, and you can go watch all 3 parts. They are extremely interesting and very telling, and a little controversial. MELANIE GIBB's interview was this week, May of 2020. MELANIE GIBB, if you don't know, was the source for the original zombie information. Now, yes, Charles did put out the zombie information in documents trying to get Lori locked up, evaluated, help back well before the zombie letter came out. But the zombie email was emailed to me after someone took notes of what MELANIE GIBB had told them. This is well after the children were reported missing, at least a month. So although I say that MELANIE GIBB is the first person to release anything about the zombie information, I mean specifically to give somebody the information of everything that was going on right up until the kids disappeared. That's what I mean about the zombie letter. Yes, we know Charles was suspicious. We do not argue that at all. Charles was very upset and trying to get Lori help for a long time, and everybody ignored him. And unfortunately, if they wouldn't have, JJ and Tylee would probably not be missing right now. Tammy would probably still be alive. And maybe even Alex would have been alive. And Charles definitely would have been alive as well. So this snowball of crap that occurred all came down to so many people not doing what they should have done and taking it seriously from the beginning, from the next step, from the day Charles was shot, etc. Okay, so the MELANIE GIBB interview. MELANIE GIBB says that she met Chad for the first time in approximately the summer 2017. She does not give the year in Nate's interview. She just says where they met. They met in Ogden, Utah, northern Utah, at one of the conferences for their Preparing a People conference, I imagine. MELANIE's book, MELANIE has a book. Everybody in this group of people has a book for some reason about their trials and tribulations in life. But in MELANIE's book, Chad did write a foreword. Chad felt a strong impression to speak about novels in Arizona, is what he said. And MELANIE helped him arrange that, go to Arizona, and begin speaking. In October of 2018, MELANIE met Lori. So then MELANIE and Lori meet. They hit it off and become fast friends, best friends. They clicked with each other. MELANIE met Lori at a night class at church that she was teaching. October 26, 27, 2018, it's a Friday through Sunday, Melanie and Lori drive to St. George, Utah, to a Preparing a People conference. Chad meets Lori that day for the very first time. And this is according to Melanie in the interview with Nate. Chad tells Lori they've been married multiple times. Right off the bat, during this conference, he tells Lori that they have been married to each other multiple times. Melanie and Lori stay 3 days and Chad stayed 2 days. Chad's wife, Tammy, was not with him. As far as everybody knows, she was not there, and his children were not there. Lori talks to Chad a lot, according to Melanie, about his books. Lori asks a lot of questions. Lori's very interested in what Chad thought, and Chad was very interested in what Lori knew. So apparently they hit it off, just boom. Kindred spirits, apparently, something like that. They talk about different beliefs that generally are not what you learn in church. And so they start to develop a kind of connection right there. On October 29th, 2018, Lori and Melanie drive back to Arizona. And October 30th, 2018, that's when the light dark email shows up with Lori's family history. Remember, Chad made a light and dark. Apparently, Lori asked Chad to give her the information about her family, her exes, everything that, how they are rated for light, for dark, to light, to dark, etc. They were already noted to be light and dark, Tylee and JJ, in this letter. And Charles was given a light, probably tried to swoon her in. Remember, we read all our theory on why people were rated light and dark in Chad's evaluation of them. And you can go back. That was a few videos ago if you want to really go over that, because one of my subscribers was really awesome about going over her theory on what happened and why they were rated what they were rated. The next event was November 16th through 17th, 2018. It is a Preparing a People event in Mesa, Arizona. Melanie, Chad, Melanie, and Lori's friends all stayed at Lori's house during this conference, and Charles was out of town. Lori and Chad went out on like a morning jog, because Chad looks like such a jogger. Chatty daddy. They spent time talking about things, and Melanie expresses that it's so personal. It's really hard to share. And it's hard to share with the world. And she says, you know what I mean? Chad and Lori began all these daily phone calls at this point. And apparently Lori had 3 phones. One special for Chad. And Melanie claims that so church doesn't find out their teachings so they can still go to the temple. They already know that they're doing things that are against the church already. So they have to have a special phone. They have to have a special phone so their significant others don't find out, apparently. So they're already secret squirrel going on here, which obviously isn't what the church would teach. It isn't what any church would teach. It's not what our moral character would teach. Even without religion, what they were doing was obviously inappropriate. Melanie spends a lot of time with Lori every day after Lori left Charles the first time. So Melanie and Lori start spending all this time together after Lori left Charles the first time for at least a few months. And then after Charles dies, they stop spending as much time together. It kind of fades a bit. Lori stopped going to church when she felt that Charles was following her, chasing her down, trying to serve her with divorce papers. And she hasn't gone to church for a long time, but she did go to temple, according to most of the interviews and stuff, every day. She went to temple every day. So after that, Charles was all upset and asked Lori to go have a psych eval. And she went in. Melanie was with her, and Melanie waited, I guess, in like a waiting room or something. They evaluated Lori, and they sent her home. And according to Lori, Lori told Melanie she passed with flying colors. I don't know how that's possible, but okay. But you know what? People know how to fake that stuff. They know how to make themselves look normal. They know what people want to hear. You know, so I can see Lori just telling them what they want to hear. She talked about Lori's purse being taken by Charles. She says that Charles just opened Lori's door and grabbed her purse. Now, remember, that was all after the truck incident. Lori moved Charles' truck from the airport. Lori took all the money out of the business account. That is when Charles went and took her purse. And remember, they were a married couple at the time. Why didn't Charles die like planned? And she says it was because of agency, people's choices. So Charles was supposed to die in this accident and he didn't. And according to Melanie, it was because of agency, people's choices, that he did not die. Lori did call Alex the night before Charles died and asked him to come over. Summy, Lori's sister Summer, also said that she asked Alex to go over there with Lori. So did they both call? Did one call? Is Summer covering for Lori? Did Summer just throw herself under the bus by saying that? We really don't know. But this is, according to Melanie, Lori did call Alex. Charles' death. 4 days after he died, Lori told Melanie Gibb that Charles was dead. She did not tell her before. She did not tell her best friend, that her husband was killed by her brother in her living room, shot dead. Didn't tell her. She told Melanie Charles was coming from Texas to kill Lori. That's why Alex had to protect Lori, is because Charles was headed there. He was coming there to kill Lori. They also said because she had a $3 million life insurance policy. Kay and Larry are trying to get to the bottom of that, because they'd like to know if there really was a $3 million policy or if it's just one more of Lori's lies. Odds are it's Lori's lies. Why would Charles have $1 million on him and Lori $3 million on her? She doesn't even work. The purpose of life insurance is to make sure your loved ones, when you die, are taken care of the same way they've been taken care of, so they don't go homeless or hungry. Lori was not providing any income. So it makes no sense that she would have $3 million and Charles would have $1 million. She talked to Melanie about Charles' $1 million life insurance policy. Lori intended on getting that $1 million of life insurance that Charles had. Kay is also a zombie. Kay may have gotten the money. Melanie Gibb says maybe Kay was going to get the money. She wasn't sure if she got switched, if she still was the beneficiary. But Kay's a zombie too now. Now, when they add up the money that Lori was probably getting based on JJ's disability, money from the state, the Social Security that the kids were getting from their dead fathers. Tylee and JJ both have dead fathers, so they would be entitled to their survivor benefits as children, minors. It was about $6,000 a month that Lori was raking in just from people dying and JJ being disabled. Melanie was asked about Alex, and she said, yeah, I asked Alex about this whole thing. Does he believe in this whole zombie thing? And Alex said 100%. I believe it 100%. Alex is dead now, but he believed this, and he believed that if Lori's saying people are zombies, then Alex is believing they're zombies. Kay's a zombie, Kay's a zombie. Charles is a zombie, Charles is a zombie. JJ's a zombie, JJ's a zombie. Alex believed this. She believes that Alex would protect his sister to this end, I suppose, to killing people. July 12th through August of 2019, Lori thought Chad would come live with her in Arizona. Well, that didn't happen. So I picture this conversation, something like this. Well, Charles is dead. So when are you going to move to Arizona, Chad? Chad's like, well, I got a lot going on up here. Maybe you should just move up here. I don't really know if I like the cold. I'm from Texas and California and Arizona, and, snow just really isn't my thing. Well, Lori, how about if you just move up here until Tammy dies, and then we'll figure it out from there. We'll go live in Hawaii. We'll go live in paradise, Lori. That's where you want to live anyway. Until we get rid of your kids, too, but that's what we're going to do. All right. If you promise me we get to go live on Kauai ASAP. Yeah, baby. We'll live on Kauai. I'll take you to live on Kauai. Kathryn's thought of how that conversation would go. Chad's like, yeah, my vision says you belong in Rexburg temporarily, and then we'll go to Kauai, Lori. Lori waits for her own answer. She wanted to be sure. And she really didn't want to go there, but her own answer apparently from the other side of the veil tells her, yes, she needs to go and she needs to be there by a certain date. Again, back of my mind, I'm thinking there was some bribery about it being temporary and then we're going to move to Hawaii. It makes sense, right? August 31st, Lori moves to Rexburg, 2019. Lori and Chad walk the BYU Idaho track, holding hands, kissing, and they say it's okay because Tammy doesn't ever really come out here much and nobody knows what she looks like. So it just might as well just be Tammy. They think I'm with my wife kissing because that's what people that were married for 30 years with 5 kids do. They walk around a track and make out. That's what they do. September of 2019, Melanie comes to Rexburg. And she arrives on a Thursday and she leaves on a Monday morning. 19th to the 23rd. JJ was there and Tylee was not. No Tylee anywhere. Melanie was told that Tylee was at BYU Idaho. And Lori never ever spoke about Tylee. She's a college. She's gone. We aren't speaking of her. Melanie walks with them on the BYU Idaho track, and JJ stays home with Alex. Lori tells Melanie JJ turns into the zombie the day before Melanie got there. Here's where people have a hard time with this because the chitter chatter that I'm reading on the internet is when Melanie was told by Lori that JJ is a zombie, why didn't Melanie call CPS? In hindsight, probably would have been the thing to do. I don't know if because she was still so deep in this belief system and she really never thought the kids would be harmed. I mean, Melanie's a mother herself and Lori's her friend. Who would ever imagine that Lori, your friend, is going to do away with their kids because you thought they were zombies, right? Melanie says, look like JJ to me. JJ's happy one minute, he's angry another minute. I'm paraphrasing, but she kind of said he's kind of a kid all over the map, which makes sense. He's 7 years old. And she said JJ is in the way of their mission. And so they talked about sending JJ to Kay or Kay's family members, but not sure if Kay would take him. And, Lori said she wasn't sure Kay would take him, but we all know that Kay definitely would have taken him. On September 23rd, Melanie leaves Rexburg. And Lori tells Melanie JJ went to Kay's after that whole story, took him to the airport, he got picked up, all kinds of BS because JJ did not go to Kay and is not at there. JJ did not go to Kay and he is not at the airport and there was none of that was true. But we know Lori's a big fat liar. And Melanie niece takes after. Trained by the best of the liars, but they're really bad liars, to be honest. They're such bad liars. So Tammy winds up dying, and on October 22nd, 20, a friend texts Melanie, who found out on Facebook, and apparently she was like, wow, Tammy really died? That was part of the plan. Wow, that really happened? Lori had all of Chad's kids over to her townhome for cookies after Tammy's funeral. stupid. So mommy's dead. Let's go over to the girlfriend's house. She's a really good friend of ours, and she made you cookies. Right in front of his own damn kids. Like, after the mom's funeral. What kind of balls does that guy have, or what? That takes some freaking evilness big time. And they fell in love with Lori because everybody loves Lori. And apparently, according to, Melanie, the kids fell in love with Lori. Oh, Melanie, I met Chad's kids. They came over, I made them cookies, and they fell in love with me. They love me. Everybody loves me. I'm Lori. They love me. I'm so gosh. One more girl. She says, Lori has a loving personality. She takes people in and holds them like Velcro and pulls you into their inner circle. Right there is very telling, right? She pulls you in and holds you like Velcro into your inner circle. That's not love. That isn't love. That's freaky weird. That is grabbing hold of people and making them do things for you or fooling them. I don't know, but that is pretty weird that she describes Lori like that. That's pretty scary. And I believe it. Lori can manipulate the best of them, obviously. Their marriage was part of the plan. 11/5/20. They said Tammy would be okay with her death. She has a mission on the other side. So apparently Tammy had some work to do on the other side of the veil. And but according to Melanie, their entire goal was to be together from the get-go. Knowing they were married in some past life, that she was, related to Jesus and all that stuff from before, their entire goal was to get together. And in my opinion, they did whatever it took to make it happen. Whatever it took. Killed people, got rid of Lori's kids, lied. November 26, 2019, Melanie was in Utah, and she gets a phone call from Chad and Lori then, but from Chad telling her the police are going to call you, don't answer your phone. Lori calls and says, the police are going to call, just go to the movies and take pictures of a bunch of kids running around and say, oh yeah, that one there is JJ. And Melanie was like, what's going on? And she said, well, Kay is trying to kidnap JJ. And she's like, she's trying to kidnap JJ. How do you know? And she goes, from the emails. And Melanie's like, I haven't seen your emails. And she said, well, she put in an email that it's not like I'm going to kidnap JJ. And Lori apparently took that as a threat that she was going to kidnap JJ. Because then now, get rid of your own kids and never see them again. Wind up in jail, still don't tell. All because you misinterpreted an email. She said Lori was upbeat and positive and said she's just protecting JJ. At one point, Alex and Melanie talk about this, and Alex is like, wow, Melanie, my sister threw you under the bus. And Melanie's like, yeah, she did. Lori mentions that she was going to take a trip to California with Chad and his kids. She said, Nate asked her, how quick did the police call you after they warned you? And Melanie said, like half an hour. Then Nate puts a strange interjection into the video. 2 black screens, white lettering. It says, Melanie says she spoke with police that day, and the focus on their investigation turned back to Lori in Rexburg. Lori told Melanie that JJ was in danger. Kay and others were trying to kidnap him. And for Melanie's safety, Lori could not tell her where JJ was. Melanie, this is for your own safety. Kay and Larry may come hurt you too. JJ, we had to hide him. They have like an army of kidnappers out here looking for JJ. And if you think about this, makes no sense, right? Because earlier she had told Melanie that she wanted to send JJ to Kay, but she wasn't sure if Kay would take it. Big, big, big contradiction, right? Lori and Melanie had this conversation about what to do with JJ, and then now she's saying, oh, yeah, I sent him there, put him on a plane. Oh, yeah, no. Oh, wait, no, he didn't do that. Oh, no, now, no, wait, hold on. They want to kidnap him. That's why I didn't send him to them. I changed my mind because they want to kidnap him. This is going to be good in court. On the way back to Arizona, Melanie calls. So Melanie was in Utah. All this stuff is going down. She goes back to Arizona after all this crap, like the police are calling and all this. And on the way back, Melanie calls once, prayer for safety. Chad was nervous. Lori was fine. Melanie thinks, ponders, and talks with a really good friend, which I'm assuming is her boyfriend, David Warwick, because his name comes up in the zombie letter. And he was the one that said, this is crazy stuff. You need to do something. So she talks with her really good friend, which I'm assuming is David Warwick, but she doesn't say that. They talked till 5 a.m. So I'm sure he had to kind of clear her head out a little bit. Like, Melanie, this has gone way too far, way too far. This is serious and this is scary. And, you know, in this conversation, they said that Chad's doctrines do not fit the church belief system at all. So think about that. You know, Melanie makes it clear that she is doing this interview. Part of doing this interview is to warn people not to believe this crap, that it's dangerous and it's evil. So obviously she knows other people that are still believing this. So she's warning people that she knows that believe in this. Is she talking to Melanie niece Pulowski? Is she talking to Melanie Pulowski when she's saying this? Or is she talking to a whole bunch of other people that have this belief system that they're following? Or both? I have a feeling she's trying to get Melanie Pulowski to see some clarity here before it's too late. Because Melanie Pulowski has lied so much that we've all seen it, and Melanie Pulowski is probably going to wind up having some charges of her own, the way it looks with all these lies. Even if it's just she's covering up, you know? So Melanie's getting really unsettled and suspicious. She calls Chad's phone. She believes Lori's 3 phones were not working. And she goes on to say she has no testimony about what they believe are true. It doesn't align with the church. So at this point, she's going, this isn't, I don't have any testimony to believe what they're saying. And she asked them, why haven't you told us where the kids are? And again, for your safety, we cannot tell you, Melanie Gibb. Scary K and their army of kidnappers, Melanie, they're going to come kill you if they find JJ, because they're on the hunt to kidnap JJ, and then they'll come kill you. Obviously, at this point, Melanie's like, this doesn't make any sense at all. Because she's probably thinking like, I'm just thinking like, what? And she's like, why am I in danger? Exactly. What did she be in danger for? Because she knew that you were going to send JJ to Kay, and then she didn't, and then she lied to you and told you Kay was going to kidnap him, and now you're in danger. Melanie's in danger. Melanie's right. It doesn't make any sense at all. And she said, they wouldn't answer us about that. Why am I in danger? Melanie, we can't tell you that. If we tell you, we'll have to kill you. Hung up with that conversation, and she went to the police December 6th. The police phone call was Melanie's like awakening. That was when Melanie was like, oh, wow, this is real. This has happened. This is bad. She told them everything in December before any of this even hit the news. She told them everything. And remember, I think after that, that's when the original kids are missing stuff came out. FBI, we have reason to believe these kids are in danger. You know, their lives are in danger. So after those conversations, the police were like, wow, these kids are in danger. The last time Melanie spoke to Chad and Lori, she told them she was concerned for them, for their salvation, for the things they've done, all the light and darkness. Lori shared she lied to the police because the kids were with Melanie for the safety of JJ. She tells them they're evil. They didn't like that very much. So Melanie's saying, you guys are evil. And they're like, we don't like you. No, you are our friend. Go home. We don't like you anymore. Give me back my Pokemon cards. A long, disturbing, uncomfortable conversation, according to Melanie. And that was the last time she talked to them. So on December 12th, 2019, they talk about Alex dying. Alex died 12/12/19. Alex was living with Zalema. Police cars were outside, and the bishop calls, and she explains. And they were like, what happened? Did he kill himself? We know that Melanie fully believes that Alex had something to do with this, and maybe he was feeling remorse or something, is what she's saying. Did he kill himself? Did he realize what he'd done? Was he killed? She was really unsure, she said. He did know that Melanie was going to the police. He did know. So if you think about that, he did know Melanie was going to the police, so it would make sense that he might be a little scared, like, oh crap, maybe I'm done for. Let me out of this earth. Let me go. I'm going. Peace out. Maybe, I would think that he committed suicide. That was one of the things that a lot of people were thinking might have happened to him, that he killed himself because of the guilt, She just said, he was a big brother. He treated her like a big brother. He wanted to take care of his sister. January of 2020, Hawaii. She said seeing that was so hard for her, to see them in Hawaii. She said, this does not look good for Lori. This does not look good for Lori. If you do really believe your children are in danger, she says, you'd be happy to tell the police, anybody and everybody, to help them. You wouldn't be hiding them somewhere and being off in Hawaii. She said it just doesn't make sense to her. She said it just made them look more guilty. So this is where it gets a little heavy. Nate says, where do you think the kids are? And Melanie says, I think they're not on this planet anymore. Not on this planet, not on this earth, not alive. That's what she's saying, right? They're not in outer space. So she's saying they're dead. She said, Tylee is strong-willed. She would have called. She would have contacted somebody by now. She would not, she's a teenager. She would not sit there and just be hidden away. She doesn't believe that Tylee would have ever put up with that. And he says, was Alex involved in the disappearance? And Melanie says, possibly. Sounds like she thinks he was, though, with everything else. The other Melanie had said, Nate's like, well, the other Melanie Pulowski, her niece, says that Lori has a plan and that the kids are safe. And her mother and her sister, so Mummy and Summy, believe it too. And, Melanie's like, I just think they want to believe it. I just think they want to believe Lori. I think they don't want to believe that Lori could harm her children. And then she said, sometimes when you know stuff, it's embarrassing to come forward with it, or you may get in trouble yourself. I think she's talking about Melanie P, because that's what the topic is here, right? Or maybe Summer, or maybe Mom knows something. But she says, what, he's asking her why Melanie is saying Lori has a plan. Why is Summer, Janice believe that Lori's innocent in all this and that the kids are tucked away somewhere. And she says, sometimes when you know stuff, it's embarrassing to come forward with it, or you may get in trouble yourself. And I honestly think that that's Melanie Pulowski's biggest fear, is that she knows stuff and she's not going to speak up until they make her. And they may never be able to make her tell the truth. But I think Melanie Pulowski knows that she asked, actually. I think Melanie Pulowski is going to be in a lot of trouble too. And I think she knows it. And I think that's why she's lying. And I think she needs to probably just go in and confess and do whatever time it takes, as long as she doesn't have a hand in killing them. She'll be out of there someday. She's still relatively young. She needs to go talk. Melanie Pulowski, you need to go talk for your sake of your children and for the greater good. You need to go talk. Brandon Bordeaux, she said, I didn't know him very well. She didn't know Brandon very well, Melanie's ex-husband, who was shot at. Because people get shot at every day. Have you been shot at? I haven't been shot at. Have you been shot at right around the time when kids go missing in your family and your wacky doodle family members are believing in zombies and dark and light and people dying and dropping like flies? And then Tammy was shot at and missed. Yeah, it doesn't look good. Melanie didn't know that he had been shot at. Melanie said she had no idea that Brandon had been shot at. And Melanie Pulowski and Alex asked Melanie Gibb to go drive by Brandon's house to see if the kids were there. Now, Brandon had just moved in this house where he got shot at. He'd only been there a little while. So only a few people would even know that he lived there or who he was, unless it was random, right? After he was shot at, they asked Melanie Gibb to go drive by there to see if he was there. And he said they moved out 2 weeks ago. So Brandon packed up and took his kids and he booked it. He got out of there. He went and put his kids in hiding and himself in hiding, which was smart because he was shot at and he was suspicious and he knows all this crap that's going on. So they send Melanie Gibb over there to check and see if the kids are there, because they're up in Idaho. Melanie talks to a neighbor and they said it's a good thing that he moved out because he was shot at. And Melanie was like, he was shot at? Okay, weird. So she asks Alex, she's like, Alex, Brandon Bordeaux was shot at. And Alex says, yeah, somebody's making it look like it was us that shot at him. Or me. So Alex tells Melanie, people think I did it. Somebody's making it look like all of a sudden Alex is being framed for this drive-by shooting. And she said she's surprised. But from everything she heard, it sounds like it was Alex that was the shooter at Brandon. Nate asked her, on July 22nd, 2020, is the world going to end? And she said, no, the world is not going to end. She said, it's sloppy work. It wasn't orchestrated well at all. All these people dying and missing. Wouldn't you be concerned that people would notice? And she said the belief system was that a big earthquake was going to hit so large in Salt Lake City, Utah by the end of 2019 that no one would notice anything in Lori's personal life going on. Lori at some point must have told Melanie, they weren't going to even notice us or my kids missing because there's going to be such a big earthquake in Salt Lake City by the end of the year that everybody's going to be so wrapped up in that, they won't even know. She never heard the July date. She had always heard August. And this idea didn't come from Lori, but research she did on her own. The year 2020 would be like half an hour silence in heaven. The year 2020 would be like a half an hour silence in heaven. Well, we kind of did cancel 2020 with coronavirus. Like, there is no 2020. It's canceled. I mean, really, I feel like it was canceled. Like everything you wanted to do, every trip you wanted to take, everything you wanted to, everybody's weddings, funerals, everything. Nobody could do anything due to coronavirus in 2020. So I'm not going to say that one isn't kind of true. It just isn't the end of the world. Anyways, I'm teasing, but I'm not. 2020 is like non-existent really for us. We're just sitting here waiting for it to be done. She said, they talked about the Lori you knew and that the Lori you see now. She says she's not free. She's very free and fun-loving before, and now she's not free. If Chad was such a visionary, why didn't he see all this coming, she says. Why? If his visions were so great, Why didn't he see all this coming? He asked her about what's it going to be like the day you walk in the courtroom as a witness. And she says, I still have love in my heart. It's hard. It's really hard for her to see her in a jail outfit, not being able to look as pretty as she'd want to be. Which sounds weird, but then again, what have we been making fun of Lori about? Lori is about Lori. Lori is about looking like a good looking. I mean, look at how she had to have makeup on that day in court in Rexburg. Someone came in and did some freaking makeup on her. She had mascara on. She had bright red lipstick on. She had blush on. I don't know. It wasn't the best job in the world. I think they sent somebody from the Paul Mitchell School to go make her up. But we know for a fact that Lori is extremely superficial when it comes to how she looks. We do know that. And so, she likes to look good. And so I think that's what Melanie means by that. Like she is and she's not in cute clothes. She is really screwed up the Lori that she wants to be. She said it's hard to see her in a jail outfit, not looking as pretty as she wants to be. And I just take that as that. Like we know how Lori likes to project herself. And if she was your good friend all along, you know that she prided herself on her looks and the way she put herself together, on her clothes. We know that was something for Lori. So I can see Melanie thinking, look at what she did to herself. Now she's in a freaking jumpsuit. She is not looking the way she wants to. I don't know why that was such a thing for her, but we do know that Lori cares a lot about her appearance. And she said, I'm really sorrowful for all those people that have passed away. Good people. She says the Chad doctrines, the doctrines are bad. They're evil. They're dangerous. She said that twice. They're very dangerous doctrines. People wouldn't have died if it wasn't for these doctrines that they're following. These doctrines that are not in line with the LDS teaching, they're evil. She said it led to people dying. People are dead because of these doctrines. And as she's saying this out there and we think about this, there's other people still following these doctrines apparently, which is really scary. She said, God veils us from any kind of knowledge before we came to this earth. I don't know if that's an LDS belief, but it makes sense. Like if we did have a knowledge of where we were before we got here, he would protect us from knowing, because it makes sense. If there was a place before we got here, then it does make sense what she's saying, that God would protect us from that knowledge. Like we don't get to know that right now. Well, they talk about, is Lori leading Chad or is Chad leading Lori? She sees Chad as the hand and Lori as the puppet on the hand. They think they are a lot alike as spiritual ideas go. They're passionate. He's reserved and quiet, and she is not. So I guess they got that yin-yang thing going on. And she said they're both equally bad for each other. He says, I hear that Lori's reading scriptures in jail. And I hear she spends a lot of time reading scriptures and singing hymns. She said she knew her scriptures well. She did love the Lord, and she does love the Lord. And as far as repentance goes, she would have to really, really admit to the death of her family. And Melanie feels like if she comes to realize what she's done, it'll be so painful for her, because love for God in scripture. And Melanie doesn't know if Lori will get there. I tend to agree with that. I mean, imagine if you were brainwashed and you did something so horrific. You truly killed your children or your family members, or you had your ex-husband killed, or you had Tammy killed. If you did that and you actually wrapped your mind around it and came full circle to to see the magnitude of what you did, it would be very painful. I mean, could you live with yourself? I mean, if Lori has a normal heart somewhere in there, like Melanie says she does, could she even take another breath knowing what she did? So I think that right now that's more of like, she's in such denial right now. I don't know if she'll come out of that denial. I don't know if she will. And honestly, I don't know if she will either. I don't think many people think she will. I mean, if she does, that would be great because she may help law enforcement. But he says, what happens to them if they are found guilty? She said, whatever punishment our country would be giving them for that is what they deserve. And they shouldn't be back out. So I believe that Melanie knows that Chad will be arrested at some point soon. That's a big knowledge thing right there. They should not be in a place where they can influence other people. Melanie feels like they're dangerous and they could influence people like they have been negatively. They have brainwashed Melanie Pulowski for sure. Melanie Gibb was gullible and naive, and she was already involved in this group and just fell for Chad's doctrines too. And thank goodness she didn't wind up getting rid of her kids or killing her kids or anything like that. It's sad. It's really sad. She just feels that she shouldn't be in a place where they can influence others because obviously they have the power to do that, and they have done that in the past, and it's caused a lot of terrible outcomes. She has made a friendship with someone in Tammy's family. So one person in Tammy's family, they accidentally found each other. She wasn't seeking after being a friend with anybody in Tammy's family. But, you know, when you're connected through this kind of tragedy, it does make sense that you would make friends with these people. She said it was healing for that person to hear because she was in an inner circle. So it was really helpful for the person she made friends with in Tammy's family to hear what Melanie had to say because they knew Melanie was in that inner circle and would know a lot of information. And it was healing for them. She said it's a sweet relationship. And he says, what do you want people to know? She said, being deceived can be very dangerous. Listen to your own revelations and not to others is very important. You know, I've always said this, and I said, as a nurse, that gut instinct to me, that is the Holy Spirit speaking, and that is telling me I need to listen. And every time I listen to it, it's been completely right. I have saved lives. I can't even explain it. But as a nurse, that gut feeling when it hit me, it is like, this has to happen now. This patient is going to go down. Like it's intuitive. It comes to you. I mean, obviously some of your expertise and knowledge brings that, but the gut feeling, it's real and you have to listen to it. And that to me is more like what she's talking about here. Listen to your own revelations and not to others. It's very important. Don't let anybody convince you. If that little voice in the back of your mind and that gut feeling is telling you this might be wrong, it probably is. You need to listen. He asked, did you have any interaction with Chad's family? And she said, not with his children. She just feels for their journey and that it's hard for her to talk about Chad because she thinks he's a good guy, a nice man. People flipped out on that comment. Here's my thing. And I said this on the live. I think that this is more speaking to them, speaking to Chad. Look, Chad, you're a nice man. You're a good guy. You can help turn this around. You can do the right thing. You know, you're not this evil person. I almost feel like it's just pleading a way to kind of, just a way to reach him emotionally and to say, you're a nice man. You're a good guy. You got kids. You got a family. You can fix some of this. You can make this. You can end this. You can give these people this peace of mind and answers. Yes, you will deserve punishment and you know it, but it's going to happen anyways. Just do the right thing. in so many words. That's how I take that she's not being like, oh, I love Chad. He's such a great guy. He's so awesome. I don't take it like that at all. I take it like she is talking to Chad. Like, not to me and you, but to Chad. Like, Chad, yeah, just trying to get at him a little bit, like, frickin' do the right damn thing. She doesn't want to be hurtful, just truthful. But she said, but his teachings are dangerous. Chad's teachings are dangerous. So if you think about that, she is kind of like contradicting herself. And that's why this makes sense to me, that she is trying to talk to Chad and say, you know, to just kind of get him emotionally pulled in to think, I don't want to be this bad guy. Maybe I did get deceived, you know? That's how I'm taking it. You can leave comments below and tell me how you're taking it. If you just think she's just blowing smoke, or if you think that that's a very possibility that she's just trying to talk to Chad. Because if you listen to what she says before and after that, it isn't saying that. He said, what would you say to Chad and Lori? What would you say right now to Chad and Lori? She says, I still care for you and Lori, Chad. I know it's really painful what you're going through. God has always taught us to be honest. No exceptions to those rules. And Chad was born and raised in LDS, going to church. He wasn't born in an atheist family. He was not raised like that. So he knows this. When you walk with peace, even if you're guilty, and confess, peace comes from telling truth. She says, I have great peace because I came forward. In a way, she's grateful that they lied to the police because it made her have to face everything, face fears that she never had before. It's just a different level. She said her faith has gotten stronger in a way that's changed forever. And patience. She said Lori did not have patience. Lori's not a patient person. And that's one thing she did not have, and it led to a fatal attraction, which says to me, Lori wanted everything now, just like when I make fun of Lori. I want a nice house. Lori, Chad, I want you to come to Arizona. Well, I want to move to Hawaii. I want Tammy dead. I want Charles dead. I want everything right now. Patience is virtue. Lori does not have that virtue. This whole case is teaching us how to be patient, isn't it? And it led to a fatal attraction. She wanted Chad and she wanted him now, and nobody was going to get in her way. And look what happened. They're not together. Fatal attraction. The bridal passions. What did Chad and Lori want? She said, that's hard because she told me a lot of personal things and she hates to share them out loud. She said it was a fatal attraction. She said there was lots of love between the two of them. I think it was lust. And I think it was money. And I think it was deception. I don't think it was true love. Love doesn't kill. Love doesn't hurt. Love is patient. Love is kind. Right? Love does not hurt others. So Melanie seeing them as they loved each other, she's not seeing that very clearly. That wasn't love. It was lust, and lust is not godly. She said they just couldn't wait to be together. Well, they're not together, and they probably never will be together. So they blew that one, didn't they? Miss Lori and her lack of patience. And then she said, Nate says lust too. And she said, what would you say to Lori? She said, we had a lot of fun times together. We laughed a lot. And she said she loves her. And I don't think this comes like, I love Lori, my like girl crush. I don't think it's, I love Lori, like she should get out. I think it's, this is heartbreaking. This was my friend. I could never imagine that somebody I cared and loved for so much, such a great person in my life, I thought was such a great person in my life, could do this. And it doesn't mean I stopped loving her, but what she did is wrong. That's how I take it. And it's just like, if you think about it, would you stop loving your child if they did a heinous crime? Would you stop loving them? I wouldn't stop loving them. It would devastate me. It would hurt me. I may stop talking to them. I may never interact with them again. It would kill me, but I would still have love for them, you know? That's how I take that. And she's so sorry she's been so deceived by Chad. Again, Melanie's looking at like Chad deceived Lori. I see patterns from what we know of things that Lori has done in the past that made her probably just as bad as Chad. So I don't think she was deceived by Chad as much as the two of them together deceived everyone around them, including, you know, good people that are dead now. By other people on the other side of the veil pretending to be good, and they're not. So Melanie believes that there's evilness on the other side of the veil that has just helped to deceive these two into becoming criminals. I don't understand that. I don't understand the whole other side of the veil. I know that is Mormon LDS teachings. I don't believe that. I mean, I do believe there's evil spirits, but I also believe that there's angels and good spirits, but I don't believe we can just connect with them whenever we want like that. But that's my belief system. It's completely different. But this is her belief system. She believes that evilness on the other side of the veil has taken a hold of them. She does cry a little bit, and she said there's still hope. Hope for finding answers, hope for justice, hope for peace of mind for the Vallow family, for the Woodcock family, for everybody that's been affected by this, from Annie Cushing, for all of us out here in the world that want an answer, that think this is just horrible. There's hope that we will get those answers, especially the family members. And then some other things in there, just little Chadisms. Potato Man, he opened a veil because he had his near-death experience. He sits in his portal to receive the revelation. Why is everybody in your life turning to zombies? Satan really hates me because I'm at an exalted level. So Satan's after me. They're all out to get me. If you disagree or cause a problem, you become a zombie. And then they had this mission. They had to get rid of all zombies before the tribulation. Prayers kills them. Go into a portal and check how many died. They would go into a portal and check how many died. And that was really confusing to all of us because how does he go in that portal and go, okay, we killed off 12 today. Mission accomplished. Chad apparently had the ability to determine the zombie status. And she said that Lori said he's much better at getting revelation than me. She used to get a lot, but now she defers to Chad for this. I wanted to read this because Kay Vallow Woodcock posted this a couple hours ago, and I just want to end with what she says. She says, our families want to thank everyone on the entire planet for the outpouring of prayers and support received throughout this nightmarish period commencing in July of 2019. The ambush and murder of our beloved Charles Vallow, followed by the inconceivable disappearance of Tylee and JJ. Your kind sentiments uplift us, and our endearing love for all the victims continue to inspire us. For those who imply otherwise, our objective of finding Tylee and JJ is on track. We will never waver or abandon our efforts. At times it may seem things have calmed, but rest assured there is ongoing effort behind the scenes. We will never be silenced. Early March 2020, the FBI solicited the public to submit pictures and or videos if they had visited Yellowstone Park on September 8th, 2019, the last public place Tylee was seen. This was not a collection of images inspired by anyone on the internet, but by the FBI, who are diligently working this case from every angle. Our beloved Tylee and JJ are receiving an unrivaled expertise of the FBI. Bravo. Thank you, guys. We, the immediate family, maintain daily and weekly contact with the FBI, Arizona, and Idaho law enforcement agencies involved in these cases. We have come to understand how and why law enforcement does what they do. We may not always feel their actions make sense, but they have a plan. And we remain patient. Example, $20,000 reward. Our families agreed to this amount under FBI advisement. Although we would have offered more considering their expertise, We took the recommendation seriously. So any criticism of the amount we have put forth is unfounded. In October, our Families United retaining a private investigator who has pursued leads and continuously assists with the investigations. We value his diligence and are content with his services. So there is no need to raise money through GoFundMe. In December, we reached out to Texas EquuSearch. The creation of their existence is profoundly touching and inspirational story. While not having specific geographic location to search, our intent was to create a relationship, learn more about their services, so if deemed necessary in the future, this service is already in place. As of today, there is still no specific area to search. We are assured that if need for TXEQ becomes justifiable, they are readily available with a simple phone call. Our family inquired about a billboard featuring kids with the full intent to pay. We were pleasantly surprised and touched with the kind and generous offer to post 2 billboards in the Rexburg, Idaho Falls area at no charge, which came to fruition in March from Lamar Advertising. We can never thank you enough. You are a huge blessing in our endeavor. Our Rexburg family hosted a poignant vigil on Monday, 5/25 in honor of our little man. We want to extend our heartfelt gratitude for this touching event. We are comforted knowing their commitment is as strong as ours. Currently, work is underway from our Rexburg family with plans to post signage in an ongoing effort to keep the focus on the kids. Once the order is fulfilled, the signs will be prominently displayed while abiding by local signage ordinances. In closing, the Vallow, Woodcock, Ryan, and Boudreau families have full intent to derive something positive from this never-ending nightmare to pay forward. We are identifying opportunities, determining objectives, and at the right time, we will be poised to make this world a better place. Isn't that every citizen's duty to leave this world a better place than when we arrived? Thank you, and God bless, Kay and Larry J. Woodcock. And thank you all for watching Left Undone Incomplete Investigations. Appreciate you all being here. We are also all here for the exact same reasons. We care about Tylee and JJ. And we want justice for Tammy and Charles. Bless you all. Thank you for being here. I'm Kathryn. Thank you for watching Left Undone Incomplete Investigations.